Creating videos that people actually watch and stay around till the end is somewhat of an art form and a skill, and over the years I've learned that there's a couple of crucial things that you guys can do to make it work. Woo! Fresh new gear. So, even though I've learned like a couple of different things about how you guys can keep audience retention and keep people watching your videos, there's one main thing that sits far above the rest of the things. Yeah, dude. And that is something that I use in every single one of my videos. It's the most important thing, in my opinion, to make sure that people are going to stick around till the end of your videos. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later on in this video. If there's anything that you guys want to take from this video, it's that one. That's going to be the key thing that keeps people around for your videos. So there's a bunch of different things that you guys can do and a few key things that you can focus on to keep people's eyes and keep people's attention on your videos throughout. Today's video is sponsored by Storyblocks, which is also something that can be very useful for keeping those people's attention. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about them a little bit later on in this video. Woo! Okay, so I think the first thing that I need to speak to you guys about is pacing, and how pacing can be so effective. Effective is definitely not a word. Effective, and making sure that people are going to want to be invested in your videos and watch them all the way through. So, you know, if you guys can start nailing pacing in your videos, it's more than just like keeping your video really fast the whole time or keeping it like punchy like that, which is important, but it's also about changing the pacing, having some parts where it's really fast, but then instead of just keeping that going fast the whole time, that's going to become like the normal. People are going to get used to that, so you need to slow it down a bit and make different pockets of pacing, some fast, some slow, and find out different parts of your video that it really fits and works well with that. And that's going to end up making it a lot more interesting to break it up as you go along. Okay, thank you. Let's go. So, just as an example of this, you can think about how we just filmed the scene you guys just watched. Instead of putting all of the talking bits in one long talking piece, we broke them up into little sections and cut little fast-paced skating scenes and little cinematic stuff between them to just change that pacing, keep those different pockets of pacing, and keep it really nice and interesting for you guys to watch. It would have been very different if we just had a long piece of talking. We're just gonna grab a couple photos here. There's this cool like abandoned tennis court thing, and what we were actually shooting today is we just needed to get a couple of shots for this really cool brand called Cuts. That's the hoodie that I'm wearing right now. That's the package that you saw that I had this morning. We've got a couple of different ones. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just gonna get a photo too on this little tennis court, and I will tell you guys the rest of the tips to keep people engaged. If you ever have a scene where you are going to be having like a long period of talking head, something like this, it's a good idea to play some B-roll or some sort of other cutaway shots over that. And essentially that is what B-roll actually is made for. So when we're talking about something, for example, when we were here, we needed to do a little photo shoot and we were going to be shooting these hoodies. And while I'm talking about this, you can see that you're not just staring at my face, you're seeing us do this little photo shoot, you're seeing some of the photos that we created, and this is keeping it much more interesting because you're constantly giving the viewer new stimulation, there's new shots and things to keep them occupied, keeping their eyes really busy and entertained the entire time. That's so much more beneficial than just having one shot staring at my face this entire time. You guys can do this by shooting shots of any appropriate B-roll for the scene that you guys are talking about and play it over it. You can also use stock media like Storyblocks, who is actually the sponsor of today's video, and you can get any sort of B-roll footage or stock footage to play over whatever scenes you guys are talking about so that they become more entertaining and exciting. Storyblocks is an online stock media library with over 1 million assets. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this before, and that's because of how hugely beneficial Storyblocks is for all of your guys' videos. If you are a content creator, this is a platform that you guys should be looking at and paying attention to. You can sign up for Storyblocks, you pay one small monthly fee, and you get unlimited downloads, which means you can use as many of their assets in your videos that you want, whether that's stock footage, sound effects, music, motion graphics, and a bunch of other awesome features that they have to offer. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is that it's important to only keep in the stuff that's kind of crucial, the stuff that pushes the message that you're trying to tell, the narrative of your story. So right now we're sitting in this traffic. It's pretty boring. I'm not going to sit here and show you guys this whole scene of traffic. For something like this video, we probably use 20% of the stuff we actually shoot, and it's really important that you guys exclude all of that stuff, because that's what's going to bring your video down and start to make it a little bit boring. If you think about this sequence right now, we're going to stop at a cool little viewpoint that overlooks the ocean. Instead of including any of this and the traffic, I could much easier just cut straight from those tennis courts that we were at and go straight to our viewpoint. That's gonna be fine. You don't have to unfold everything in like such a linear fashion. Something that's really great about videos and filmmaking is that you can jump all over the place just to the most exciting bits and exclude all of the boring stuff. So this whole segment right now, if it wasn't for this tip, it's completely pointless, and I would absolutely not include it in the video. You guys want to know something funny? I am still shooting with the Mavic Pro, like the very first Mavic. It's super old. I think it's about time for an upgrade, which I do kind of plan on doing pretty soon from right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. Once again, welcome aboard. That was cool.
I nearly hit you, dude. I got that guy's claim. He did like a little 360 and just claimed hard. He was like, woo woo.
Direction you're from, please right turn after departure. About Christopher 36 down.
In my opinion, the absolute most important thing that you guys can do to keep people's attention and make people watch as much of your video as possible is something that I did to you guys at the very beginning of this video. That is setting up some sort of a hook or a setup right in the beginning of your video, and then having that payoff at the end, the big finale of something that you teased in the beginning. So if you notice with this very video, right in the beginning I said to you guys that there was one tip to make people watch your videos that's more important than any other tip. And then I told you that I was only going to tell you that tip right at the end of the video. So now you're invested. You know that the good information, the thing that you're really here for, is only going to be shared at the very end of the video. And that's going to make you watch the entire video to get to that end point so that you can find out that juicy thing that we teased in the very beginning. In a lot of my videos, a lot of my other ones, and one of my most popular videos is the one where we shoot B-roll. And in the beginning of the video, I will tell you guys that we're going to shoot B-roll, and at the end of the video, I'm going to show you all the B-roll that we captured in that video. That's the exact same principle. And now you guys are invested from the beginning. You need to watch that whole B-roll process so that you can see the big grand finale at the end, where I show you the B-roll that we were able to capture and the results of all of the work throughout that video. So that, in my opinion, is the most important thing when you guys are shooting your videos. You need to create some sort of setup in the beginning so that the viewer wants to stick around till the end. If you guys can master that, you'll undoubtedly see that people will like to watch your videos for longer. Woo! Now that I've told you guys that and I've mentioned this to you, I guarantee that you're gonna start noticing it in all YouTuber, like, or at least the bigger YouTubers, the guys that are really pulling in views. They're gonna be sticking to this rough formula. And the reason is because these days, watch time is so important for YouTube and the algorithm. So the longer you can keep people watching your videos, you get a longer watch time or an average view retention from your viewers. And that means that YouTube is going to start recommending your video more and more the higher that retention is, because ultimately YouTube wants to keep people on the website. And if you are keeping people's eyes on your videos and keeping them on that site for longer, YouTube's going to be stoked. They're going to share your video more and you're going to get more views. So it's something that you guys really need to focus on. And if there's one thing that you're going to add to your structure of your videos or anything to keep people watching them, it's this tip that you guys need to introduce. And you'll notice it's everywhere in everyone's videos. That is going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember that if you want to find out anything more about Storyblocks, I'm going to leave their link down in the description. They are truly an amazing platform for creators like you and I. Link down below. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.